Dr. Natoki Ford is founder and CEO of Fly-Sci Enterprise, an education and media consulting organization focused on leveraging the power of storytelling to promote social change, particularly in STEM fields. Dr. Ford is an international advocate for STEM and media inclusion. As a biomedical scientist and social entrepreneur, she has worked with leading organizations including Netflix, Disney, YouTube, and the Association of National Advertisers, where she serves as an executive advisor for the See Her movement. Dr. Ford previously served as a senior policy advisor at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy during the Obama administration. In this role, she oversaw the development and implementation of the Image of STEM project. Listed in the top 100 science and technology accomplishments of the Obama administration, the Image of STEM project was a national initiative designed to raise visibility and improve the image of STEM fields and careers in order to help promote diversity in the STEM workforce. Prior to working in the Obama administration, Dr. Ford was a postdoctoral fellow at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston. She also spent time in Los Angeles, where she had the opportunity to work in the entertainment industry and serve as a middle school teacher in an underserved community. Dr. Ford has served on the Barbie Global Advisory Council, YouTube Kids Global Advisory Committee, the Toy Association's STEM Strategic Leadership Committee. She was a nominee in the She Hero category of the inaugural Women's Choice Awards in 2017 and is featured in the Black Girls Rock book by Beverly Bond. Dr. Ford received her PhD. Yes. Dr. Ford received her PhD in experimental pathology from Harvard University and her BS and MS in chemical and biological chemistry from Clark Atlanta University. And Regis College awarded Dr. Ford an honorary doctorate of science. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Natoki Ford.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you all today. And this, quite frankly, is probably only the third in-person event I've done in 2.5 years. So it's wonderful to see all of your faces in real life. So thank you for that introduction, President Landry, to the faculty, staff, honorees, all the families, friends in the building today. Good afternoon, and once again, congratulations to the graduating classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Please clap for yourselves one more time. You did it. You really did it. In spite of everything that's been going on in the world for the past 2.5 years, you all remain dedicated to your pursuit of higher education during an unprecedented time in the history of the world. Amid these daunting circumstances, some of you were, of course, probably also juggling jobs, working on the front lines, and taking care of your families. But you still made it to this moment. So I salute you all, sincerely I do. It's been over 10 years since I was a graduate, and I remember how hard grad school was back then, before we were in a global pandemic. So I am truly in awe of all of you. As I thought about what could I possibly tell a group of people who are obviously very highly tenacious, it was impressed upon my heart to share with you all a few things that I have learned in my own journey to pursue my dreams amid trials and tribulations. I will be very candid and tell you that I am transitioning out of one of the hardest periods I have ever experienced in my life. But as of today, I am now the happiest I have been in a very long time, and my outlook on life has evolved substantially. Like many of us, life has shown me that at any given moment, something can happen that could totally derail us. We could unexpectedly lose a loved one we hold dear, get a life-changing health diagnosis, face a betrayal, or have a traumatic experience. Life events are inevitable. They are par for the course in the human experience. So how do we remain connected and committed to our dreams when life shakes us to the very core? I have been on a journey to answer this question in the wake of the sudden loss of my father in September of 2020. I am a major daddy's girl, so losing him completely turned my world upside down. And being in lockdown due to COVID had already posed a significant challenge to my mental health, and to compound that with immense grief was the deepest, all-consuming pain I have ever known. It was the beginning of a very dark period in my life. But there are 3 key things I have learned in my healing process that have enabled me to make this grueling transition from barely surviving to beautifully thriving. And if any of you here today feel like you are currently in survival mode or like you made it here just by the skin of your teeth, I hope that my story serves as an encouragement to you. The first step in my survive to thrive transition process was to focus on what truly matters. Grieving my father pressed a reset button in my life. I felt like a blank sheet of paper blowing in the wind with no sense of purpose or direction. There was nothing I really aspired to be or have anymore, and my goal was only to once again know what it felt like to wake up and be happy to be alive. Focusing on healing and taking care of myself made me realize that there were so many things that I had previously allowed to stress me out or bother me that really didn't matter in the grand scheme. It all felt like minutia now. Grief gave me a healthy sense of detachment from trivial matters, and it helped me to refine my priorities. I mattered. My health and wellness mattered. Sure, there had been a grace that still allowed me to function, but the only way that I would ever maximize my potential and impact in this world is if I first ensured that I was operating as my optimal self. Grief-induced depression is a non-optimal condition, so I needed to seek help and support to properly process my loss. For the first time in my life, I sought therapy and I read books on grief. In True Refuge by psychologist and author Tara Brach, I learned that grieving allows us to metabolize the pain of loss. Megan Devine's It's Okay That You're Not Okay gave me new insights and tools to help me understand that grief is not something you get over. It's something that you tend to. Love is eternal. So when our loved ones make their transition, our relationship with them does not end. It just changes. These new perspectives became collateral beauty that laid a new foundation for me to reconnect with purpose and meaning in my life and career. Life is not about acquiring accolades or material possessions. It's about taking full ownership of the contributions, whatever they may be, that we want to make to this world. Our accomplishments don't define us. They are merely tools we can use to carry out our life's mission. I also learned that sometimes when we have held on to a dream for so long, it begins to hold on to us, even when we think we have lost touch with it. About a month after my father's transition, a press release came out announcing a Netflix children's series I had been working on, Ada Twist Scientist, which is based on the popular children's book by Andrea Beatty. Even though I still felt like a zombie, something quickened within me while reading that article. I realized that even in the midst of that dark time, I was still living a dream that I had conceived over 8 years prior. There I was, a Black female scientist working on a show about a little Black girl scientist that would hopefully inspire curiosity in children around the world. This show might help more children believe that becoming a scientist or an engineer was attainable no matter who they are, what they look like, or where they come from. In service of something bigger than ourselves, we can be empowered to endure circumstances that may seem unbearable. So being reminded of my calling helped me reconnect with the why of my presence on earth. And I felt this glimmer of hope that I actually could keep going. This leads to the next aspect of my transition from survive to thrive. I had to become very clear about my intentions for my work so that I could allow those intentions to guide my choices. As a social entrepreneur, I tend to wear many hats. At any given moment, I could be juggling multiple projects. But a unifying theme within my work has been to find ways to leverage this tremendous power of media and storytelling to promote social change. But I'm most passionate about having an impact in the realm of STEM, which stands for, of course, science, technology, engineering, and math, so in the realm of STEM education and workforce issues. But toward the end of last year, I took inventory of all the projects I was working on and decided to let go of a large contract that was media-related but didn't align with my intention to have my work address education inequities. I also had to let go of this project because another intention I had set for myself was to focus more on writing and someday becoming an author, hopefully a New York Times bestselling one. So I needed to free up my time and mental space so that I could both rest more and be proactively creative. I started writing in my anonymous blog, and it proved to be incredibly cathartic, both adding a new dimension to my healing journey and boosting my confidence in my writing skills. There are a host of benefits that come with the territory of being clear about our intentions. Clear intentions can compel us to be brave enough to be true to ourselves so that we can find the courage to perhaps walk away from something that may be good in order to create space for something great. Clear intentions can enable us to be more efficient with how we use our time, which can help open up our creativity. And when we are guided by right intentions, this can also help stave off self-doubt that may inevitably arise because we are taking the focus off of ourselves and placing it on being of service to others. It's not about whether we are good enough or whether we deserve to be where we are, because those are the hallmarks of imposter syndrome. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with this term, it's the inability to internalize achievements and a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. I am so grateful that I developed a system to keep my own imposter feelings at bay, because once upon a time, I was literally a poster child for it, and I actually even have a TEDx talk telling you all about it. The third and final point that I want to share with you all regarding the transition, again, from survive to thrive, is to keep an abundance mindset. There are limitless resources in the universe. Part of our challenge is figuring out how do we find and connect with those resources. A few months ago, I had been unknowingly operating with a scarcity mindset, which warped my perception of reality. As I mentioned, I had let go of a large contract at the start of this year, so I needed to figure out how am I going to replace this income. To my initial dismay, a long-standing contract I already had was also now highly uncertain. I felt so frustrated that, as fabulous as I am, and after all the amazing work that I had done for this organization, it now felt like I was begging them for another contract, and they were giving me a bit of a runaround with no definitive answer. But as author Marianne Williamson says, A miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love. Instead of feeling like life was against me, I made a conscious decision to see this resistance as a signal that the universe was actually conspiring in my favor. So I decided to open myself up to the possibility that this door was now closed because there was something better for me. Instead of being fearful, I got excited that once again, I had to let go of the good to experience something great. So I began setting up meetings and informational interviews, and one contact led to another and another. And in 3 weeks' time, I went from one highly tentative contract to now having 3 different teams whom I could work with that had better synergy with my work intention. Thank you. When you have an abundance mindset, you become magnetic because you are being guided by love, not fear. And this enables you to convey your passion. People love to work with passionate individuals because it's inspiring. And passion is not something that you can be trained to have. It has to be cultivated. When you have an abundance mindset, you expect good outcomes. You also trust that your needs will be met, and so your actions then align accordingly. 2 days ago, so that you all are getting this hot off the press, this thing is unfolding in real time, okay, the story. 2 days ago, my abundance mindset prompted me to dig up an email and contact a literary agent who had reached out to me 4 years ago about writing a book. At that time, I was working with another agent, so I wasn't in a position to take him up on his offer, and as fate would have it, I wound up tabling that book project until now. And would you believe he responded to my message within 24 hours? 4 years later, he got back to me within 24 hours, and we are meeting next week because people love working with passionate people. So, what do I want to leave you all with? Making the transition from surviving to thriving is never going to be easy, nor is it going to be a passive endeavor. We all have to work at it, but we have to be both persistent and patient because it's not an overnight process. And we also have to extend grace to ourselves while being unapologetic about prioritizing our well-being. We don't have to aim for success. Success is a byproduct of our intentions and our efforts. One of my favorite quotes by Maya Angelou says, "Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it." So be resolute in clarifying the vision and intentions you have set for your life and your career, and make moves with confidence knowing that you will get everything you need to bring your dreams into fruition. This is how we continually ascend to higher and higher versions of ourselves, which enables us to maximally leverage how uniquely each and every one of us has been fashioned so that we can unabashedly contribute our gifts to this world. Once again, congratulations to you all, and Godspeed to the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Thank you so much.